Out of more than 27,000 water meters in the city of Santa Barbara, there are 807 irrigation meters for customers with larger landscapes. These tend to be commercial properties, schools, or homeowners associations, although residential customers with large landscapes can benefit from an irrigation meter too. In July 2014, the City Council adopted a policy creating a new rate structure for water customers that have these separate water meters for irrigation. This rate structure allows for the customer and the city to determine a water budget for that specific landscape.
So a landscape water budget helps us determine the appropriate amount of water to apply to a landscape to keep it healthy and beautiful. It's based on three factors: the amount of irrigated area in the landscape, the types of plants in the landscape, and weather data. And it changes monthly based on weather conditions. Each budget is unique to a specific landscape based on that landscape's unique characteristics.
City water conservation staff have been working towards landscape budgets for several years. Landscape budgets are considered a best management practice by the California Urban Water Conservation Council. The goal is to incentivize customers to water efficiently.
Well, water is a resource, and like money in the bank, if you don't know how much is in there and you can't keep track of how much you're withdrawing, there's no balance. So with an irrigation budget, what that allows us to do is we come out and we actually measure the square footage of the property. We differentiate between the high water using grass and all the rest of the property like shrubs and low water using plants. And we take the total on that, and every month what happens is that the billing department is given what's called the ETO, or the evapotranspirative rate. Basically, it's what is the weather doing? You can use the weather data and the type of plants and the size of your landscape, and you can know exactly how much water you should be applying, knowing that, say, we're going into winter, you're going to be able to reduce the amount of water that you use and only apply what the plants actually need to be healthy and happy.
No matter what your water budget is, you're only billed for the water you use. If your usage is below the monthly budget level, all use will be billed at the Tier 1 rate. However, if your usage exceeds the monthly water budget, all use above the budgeted amount is billed at the more expensive Tier 2 rate.
The only way that you can really monitor and adjust your watering for your plants is to know how much you're applying. And if you don't have a separate meter, you're having to try and estimate, well, how much did we use inside? And, well, we had company, and then we were on vacation. So if you have a separate meter that waters, maybe you have an acre or you have 2 acres of land, you can look at that, you can run each zone and see how many gallons you used in a minute. Do that for all the different zones. The average lawn zone is using between 13 and 16 gallons per minute. So when you set up your budget personally and you're looking at where can I cut down, if you think, wow, my lawn's using 16 gallons a minute and we're in a drought, well, that's the first place I'm going to cut down. I can cut down 10 minutes and save 160 gallons. If I cut out 1 shower a week at 10 minutes, at 1.5 gallons, I'm going to save, 15 gallons? Much more impact if you're doing it in the landscape.
When the city comes out to your property, staff will measure all the irrigated area using a laser survey tool and geographic information systems, or GIS. These high-tech tools allow for an efficient way to verify the exact square footage that is being watered. Once this data has been collected and the type of plant materials and weather data are figured into the equation, you have your water budget.
As we get deeper into our hot summer, the plant's needs for water increase, and so you would be given a budget that takes that into consideration, so that, as you get July, your budget will be a little bit larger to make up for the fact that there's no precipitation in July.
The city has tools available for customers to help them properly manage their water budgets, such as getting a free water checkup to review your sprinkler timer, using the watering calculator and the weekly watering percent adjust, upgrading your sprinkler timer to a smart irrigation controller using the city rebate program, and encouraging your landscaper to manage your landscape to a budget.
In general, what we're seeing actually is an increase in interest from our customers that have large landscapes to get a separate irrigation meter, so that not, if they have one meter that's serving their home and their landscape is large, they're oftentimes getting a lot of water usage in that high tier 3 rate. And so if they separate and they get a separate irrigation meter, they can manage their water more efficiently, and it actually helps lower their bill. So we've seen an increase in those meters as the rates have gone up with the drought.